It's fair to say that the Warriors are looking like serious title contenders this season. Right now, they are first in the Western Conference and in the NBA, with an 18-2 record. The only team with a remotely close record in the league are the Phoenix Suns, who are 17-3 thanks to a 16-game win streak, which just shows how well the Warriors have done. However, the thing about the Warriors is they aren't only winning, but they are dominating their competition. In the last 4 games, which were against the Raptors, Sixers, Blazers, and Clippers, they picked up a win in each game with an average winning margin of 16 points. This is against borderline playoff or playoff lock teams. Yes, some of those teams have injuries to key players, but I don't think that takes away much from the Warriors. A good team needs to consistently beat teams they are better than, which is exactly what the Warriors have done for the first quarter of this season. Currently, the Warriors have the number 1 defense and number 2 offense in the league, without much star power outside of Curry. And remember, they are facing injuries of their own, as Klay Thompson and James Wiseman are yet to play this season. Keeping that in mind, nobody expected the Warriors to be this good. I mean, everybody knows that with Steph, Klay, and Draymond, the Warriors are always going to be a good team, but what has made them the number 1 seed in the West and the number 2 offense in the whole league without Klay is their role players, and more specifically how they have played offensively alongside Steph Curry. This is what I want to analyze in this video. The Warriors currently have the second best offensive rating in the league, scoring 113.7 points per 100 possessions. Players like Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins have played so well with Steph Curry, and they have made changes to their playing styles using last year's experience. I think a focus for them over the offseason was developing their play style around Curry. Players this season like Wiggins and Poole have not only put up better and more efficient numbers, but in certain games they have taken over the scoring load while Steph has taken a back seat. And that is a staple of a great team. If the Warriors can win games without Steph scoring 30 and instead by distributing the scoring load between other players, it gives them versatility as an offense. Wiggins is averaging 19.0 points at 49.5% from the field and 56.6% inside the 3-point line, both the highest efficiencies of his career. Poole is averaging 18.1 points while shooting 44.9% from the field, but out of the 14.6 shots he attempts a game, 8.1 are threes, putting his effective field goal percentage at 54.1%, which is his highest efficiency in his short career. Yes, these players have been playing better, which is partly due to improvements they made over the offseason, but a big key to their success and the Warriors' success offensively has been Steph Curry's presence on the offensive side and the attention he draws from defenders. Not just Poole and Wiggins, but the whole Warriors team have adapted their game around Curry. Let me explain. This is the Warriors' latest game against the Clippers. Bjelica gets the ball and immediately gets double teamed as Zubac comes over, so Morris rotates to cut off the pass to Wiggins. But look here, Terrence Mann has to stick to Curry because of his shooting prowess. We always see teams play Curry this way. They always have a man constantly focused on him, but as you can see, since Mann doesn't rotate to fill in that hole left by Zubac, Toscano Anderson cuts and gets a wide open look at the rim, all because of Curry's reputation as the greatest shooter of all time. Let me show you why this helps players like Wiggins who are talented inside scorers. Draymond fakes a handoff to Curry, and look at Drummond on this position, who is usually a good defender. He first looks where his man is going, and instead of looking towards where the play was heading, instead he looks back to Curry first. He sees Curry looking over to Wiggins, and he looks over now. By the time Draymond has realized Wiggins is in the paint, it's too late, and Wiggins gets it up with his back to Drummond, forcing him to foul to challenge the shot. Drummond, a good rim defender, was unable to help effectively on that position because he was too busy on what Curry was doing, allowing Wiggins to score inside. Steph also indirectly creates a look for Poole against the Sixers here. He sets a screen for Poole, who cuts after no switch is made off the screen, allowing him to get in front of his defender. Look at Drummond. He sees Poole in front of Seth Curry cutting towards the basket and Steph wrapping around. He decides to stay with Curry, and then it's an easy 2 for Poole. Not only does Curry's presence help Wiggins and others score inside, but it can also be used to reduce transition opportunities for the other team. As Wiggins drives in, look at how Morris and Bledsoe, who are at the top of each elbow, collapse inwards. These players have to help because Mann, who is the help side defender, has to stick to Curry. PG plays good defense and allows Morris to get there in time to challenge the shot, but usually that would result in a late contest. Nevertheless, Wiggins scores. If Wiggins were to miss in this scenario, because the two defenders who were at the elbow have had to help, it means they can't get a fast break opportunity as they have collapsed in due to Curry's defender not being able to help as Curry is on the wing. The great thing about Curry is he is always switched on and his basketball IQ is so high, he knows exactly when to be the decoy and when to score. Here, Wiggins pushes the pace and gets up the floor quickly and passes it back to Draymond to supposedly set up the offense. Now, Dre is a playmaker. He knows the Clippers are rushing back, and immediately after receiving the pass, he looks for Curry, who is so dangerous in transition. And look at Zubac. He isn't paying attention to Curry, he's looking at Draymond. And as he realizes that Dre is looking for a pass, it's too late, and he is in an awkward position, practically screening Bledsoe for Curry, who sees this and begins to spot up from deep three-point range. He gets the pass, and sure enough, he hits it. Steph's impact from his three-point ability is common knowledge. People stick to Curry and that leaves his teammates open, and when you don't, he makes you pay. But what often doesn't get brought up is his inside scoring ability also creating a similar effect, because it's overshadowed by his shooting ability. But make no mistake, Curry is also an elite inside scorer. In the same game versus the Clippers, look at the attention Curry draws as he gets inside. Not only are the Clippers defenders focused on him, but look at PG, Kennard, and Zubac, all three guarding him, and this leaves Chiosa and Tuscan Anderson open for three. However, Curry chooses to take it himself as he shoots that quick release floater. And this is what I mean by Curry being an elite inside scorer. In this position, Curry has options. He can shoot the mid-range, he can drive, or as he did here, shoot the quick release floater, which would be the high IQ play. As he is against Zubac, a big man who isn't that laterally quick, and the floater is the quickest play to get off. This is why he gets that attention from defenders on the inside. He has options and he knows when to use them. A deadly combo. Here, Curry gets in front of his man and stops at the free throw line. And even before he has picked up his dribble, PG steps up, even though his man Looney is cutting. And Zubac is only focused on Curry, as Dre is in a three-point threat. This is actually great defense by Paul George, as by quickly stepping up and closing the distance to Curry, instead of being hesitant between following Looney and challenging Curry, he eliminates the lob threat to Looney, as Curry doesn't have enough space to throw it. And he also is close enough to challenge a shot if Curry chooses to shoot. Curry instead baits out Zubac by looking at the rim, passes to Dre, and look at this. Because Morris was so focused on what Curry was doing, Wiggins is now completely open here. But instead, Dre passes to the better shooter in Poole, who gets a good look but misses. What really makes this Warriors offense special is now they are looking for defenders being asleep as they expect them to focus on Curry. And they use this to create their own shot. Look at how Tuscan Anderson sees Rubio focusing in on Curry, and he uses his athleticism to blow by him for an easy 2 points. This is a great sign for the Warriors, because looking towards May and June come playoff time, teams are going to focus on Curry more, and if role players around him have the awareness to spot when the defense is doing this, and they have the confidence to look to create their own shot, it's only going to be beneficial for the Warriors in the long run. And this is why people say you need a superstar on your team if you want to win a championship, and why teams like the 2015 Hawks, who had 4 All-Stars but no real superstar, struggled in the playoffs against a superstar in LeBron James, as they ended up getting swept by the Cavs. It's because players like Curry, LeBron, and KD can single-handedly change games or a whole playoff series if they aren't contained. And the only way you can hope to contain them is by having your whole defense trying to stop them as a unit, rather than individuals across a whole game. Even if they're having a bad game, one mistake that leads to a made shot for them can lead to 4, and the next thing you know, you're losing. They demand so much respect out of a defense at all times that it's inevitable that their teammates are going to get more opportunities. Even if they're having a rare bad game, by them just being on the court, it opens up so much more for your offense. That's what the superstar effect is. And that's amplified when that superstar is the greatest shooter of all time who runs off screens, handoffs, and well-orchestrated plays. That's the Curry effect. Curry is not only putting up MVP numbers on the best team in the league, but his impact goes far deeper than the stats. Curry is an offensive monster, not only because of the points and assists he gets, but by how him just being on the court, it makes his teammates around him better. But the scariest part about this is that the Warriors are still without Clay and Wiseman. I think as soon as Clay and Wiseman return from injury, this team is going to be even better. However, the obvious downside to their return is fewer shots for players like Poole and Wiggins, but I think it isn't going to take away from the chemistry and style of offense they have right now. In fact, I think it's going to improve it. Once Clay gets back, the Warriors are going to have this best and second best shooter in NBA history on the same floor. So you're going to have the Curry effect, plus someone that has to stick to Clay at all times, opening up looks for everyone else on the Warriors using the same style of play they have now. Wiseman is going to be another effective inside scoring option alongside Wiggins, and he can also drag the center out with his floor spacing ability like we saw with the Clips with Drummond. Reportedly, he has also gained about 10 pounds of muscle while he was off, leading me to believe that he is prepared for this role. This just shows how Kerr had this fully planned out. These clips do show Curry's offensive ability, but you have to praise Steve Kerr for actually fully utilizing Steph and what he brings. Many were hesitant to consider him as a great coach, but this season some of the plays he has drawn up are just insane. You have to praise him. It's not easy rebuilding your offense after somebody like KD leaves, regardless of if you have Curry or not, and he has done a great job. So where does this put the Warriors? Honestly, after Clay and Wiseman get back, I think the Warriors are probably going to be considered title favourites going into the playoffs, as the first seed in the West and the best record in the league. Other top teams are riddled with injuries right now, so they'll take time to adjust when their stars get back. The Lakers are struggling for chemistry, and the Nets have Curry's whole vaccination thing going on. So for Curry, he's looking at his third MVP and fourth championship, and strengthening his case as the greatest point guard of all time over Magic. Do you guys think the Warriors will go all the way? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.